Okay, coming at you on Sunday, the 28th of May. So, an update, slightly disappointing, on the Muse. So, Martin Archer is back, got a hold of me, sent me the instructions of what he suggested I do in order to update my Bandcamp page so that it will reflect CDs being available from a European distributor. Well, it turns out that Bandcamp won't let me do it the way that we need to do it, which is I wanted to make a separate entry for the 10 CDs available in Europe and England for sale, not in US dollars but in euros. But Bandcamp won't let you do it. It says you either have to, all your entries are either US or whatever other currency you delineate. But it goes across the board for all of your releases, which I obviously don't want to do. So at this point, I've relayed that information back to Martin, saying, well, I can't set up a dedicated point of sale on Bandcamp for Europe in euros or pounds. They won't let me do it. So I don't know what to do. Have him send the CDs back, or I was thinking maybe you just want to just go ahead and just sell them, man. Just sell them. Somebody, I just want people to hear the music. I'm not real big on doing business. I'm not real hung up on money. I've never had any, and so I'm not worried about it all the time. Really would like just people to be able to own the CD without that ridiculous. I mean, the CD costs $10. In order for a CD to be bought from me over in England or Europe, it's $24 to $26 in postage. That is just ridiculous. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm waiting to see what Martin says. But it looks like I can't set up through my Bandcamp site a separate deal for European sales. Sorry about that. It doesn't look like I can do it. So what are we going to do next? I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying though. I'm trying to do it so that you folks don't get screwed. Let me show you some records, okay? Biting Tongues, Love Out. This is a 12-inch single. Graham Massey, who went on to 808 State, is on this. Started in this band, or was in this band. I don't know if he started here. It's a 12-inch with remixes, but it's a kind of a wooden groove, but at the same time, it's pretty cool. Johannes Schmeling, Wiebend Riet. This is one of those records that out on the Erdenklang label. I think this label is owned by one of the people that was in the band Ela Craig. Do I have that right, folks? Don't feel like looking it up. And I think this guy was with Tangerine Dream for a while. Enjoyed this. It's electronic flowing, and it was good. Something I bought years ago, used because I like the cover. Dereck Bischoff composed. Listen to most of this yesterday. This is really pretty good. Kind of hard to describe. There's pop elements, but there's also these. it's each piece is different, and he's using folks like Carla Bozulich on one. Nels Klein is on here. Caetano Veloso is on here, along with Greg Saunier of Deerhoof. That should let you know with that eclectic lineup of people. This is very interesting. Don't know anything about Mr. Dereck Bischoff. I was pulling stuff because I'm always trying to keep my stuff updated and covered. And this is an album that needed a plastic cover, the Black Panther soundtrack. I haven't played it recently, though, but I thought I'd show it. And I want to thank my sister Adrian for getting that to me when it came out. Had to go down the Sakamoto route for a while this weekend. And I haven't seen this show, Beckett. It's an interesting premise, seemingly, what it's about. But the soundtrack, there's a lot of percussion on here. Straight percussive pieces, no piano. Interesting. I love Sakamoto's work. This album is 50 years old now, and people were showing it over the last couple days. Hosono House, Hiromi Hosono's first solo album. And this has really grown on me. As I've said in the past, I've been particularly fond of his electronic stuff and his earlier stuff where he's doing the Americana, the band sort of trip. Not as interesting, but over time this has increased in my love of it. Some old psych pop, sunshine pop, psychedelic related records here. I picked up a couple. These are reissues, some stuff that I'd always wanted, never got a chance to get when it first came out. The Nova Local. I think they're from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And this is their one only album, Nova 1, which is very good. It's that combination of pop and psychedelic touches. So this is good. Good compositions and interesting arrangements. It's not just straight ahead. They do different things. This is really good. Nova 1. Another recent addition. I had wanted this for a long time. Orphan Egg. This one's cool. They got a song here called Deep in the Heart of Nebraska. I love it. It's that old sound. If anything, I've been thinking about this. For me, psychedelia, pop, R&B, from the 60s and 70s, beyond genres, it's the music of my youth. It's just, there's something even magical about it to me. This is not a recent pickup. I just pulled it and played it. And this is not psychedelic, but it's in there in the way that David Axelrod sets up the concept of the album. And there are little weird parts. That's where, to me, it's like, yeah, that's the whole idea of psychedelia, where it's like, you know, it seems to be on this one trip, and then all of a sudden we go to another level. And this is like that. Earth Rot by David Axelrod. This is very good. I love that cover, too. 1970, and, you know, it's like we've been trying to wake ourselves up for the longest time, and because it's too important, the money being made is too important for us to stop, and so we're just in dire straits. Here's one I picked up at Grapefruit. I bet this is out of the collection of Tommy Emmy, a local collector who had a techno label for a while. I don't have any of his records. I've been saying, Tommy, get some of those records to me. It hasn't happened yet, but I bet this is out of his collection. I bought it used at the Grapefruit. The Collectors Canadian band. Members went on to start the band Chilliwack. Do I have that right? This is their second album, Grass and Wild Strawberries. This is very good. Very, very good. It's like it's a blend. There's these different elements. These different elements of rock to classical, and they can really play. And this is nice. This is a white label promo. We always like that as a collector. It's fun. So that I grabbed that this weekend. Pretty sure that's out of whose collection that is. And this one too. This is the least satisfying of the recent acquisitions, but I'm still glad I got it. The Bubblegum Machine. The cover alone, it speaks of a time, the end of the 60s going into the 70s. For me, it's a lot of nostalgia. Thoughts, a lot of nostalgic feelings and thoughts go with this music. So there are those. Oh, I got one more. This is good. The Hobbits. Men Indoors. Communicate. Now this is on the pop side, but as you see the cover, they're letting you know, we're trying to be with the times. And successfully so. This is pretty straight for the most part, and they just throw in these elements that make you pay attention. Love these old records, and still grab them when I can. What was it, yesterday or the day before was Miles Davis's birthday. Played some Jack Johnson. This is a great album. Everyone's playing their asses off on this. John McLaughlin really shines on this. Jack Johnson, Miles. Miles has been to my house. Stephanie, I bet you don't remember, do you? Over on Spalding. Miles was at the house. When we were having that summer of discontent when Vivian Strong got murdered by the cops, Miles was in town for a while when all that was going down. Couple more. Been after this for a while. This is a reissue. Nucleus. Love Nucleus. We'll talk about it later. Ian Carr and the fellas. When I met the Reese brothers in my senior year of high school, who were instrumental in really opening my eyes up to European continental rock music, one of the first records that Paul Reese played for me was Nucleus Elastic Rock. Also, I keep forgetting to mention Slayed Alive. We were just kids, and so Paul was really into Slade, in particular the album Slayed Alive. And I had it for a while. I don't have it anymore. That album is very exciting. That's a live album for you. Thought I'd mention that. Slayed Alive. Is that a surprise to some of you? This is a great album. Chris Spedding on guitar, John Marshall on drums, Jeff Klein, Carl Jenkins, Nucleus. Okay. Let's go back a little bit further. I forget. But here's something else I got used recently, but it was in the used, but it was sealed. It's not the limited edition. I don't need that. But this is John Hopkins, Music for Psychedelic Therapy. This is good, and it's cool. I have a track on the Muse called Singing Bowl, where Singing Bowl 1, where I play a Tibetan singing bowl, and there's a singing bowl track, sidelong track on here too. Singing Bowl, Ascension. You know about the singing bowls made over in Tibet and in the East. Wonderful, wonderful sound. guess I didn't show these. So there's a catch-up. So I guess I don't remember if I've shown these. But this is another recent addition from Record Store Day, but I just recently went down and got a copy of it. The Orb, featuring Lee Scratch Perry. This is a good one. This is. Love that color. It's about my favorite tone of orange here, kind of tangerine-y. This is very good, very groovy. They really know how to work with the reggae beat. And Lee Scratch Perry with his, he was one of a kind. And the other thing I'll show that I got used was a Mouse on Mars. What is this? Radical Connector. Radical Connector, Mouse on Mars. I've mentioned them before, saw them years ago. They were really good live. That's a cool piece of vinyl. Yeah. So to backtrack, hello family. But to backtrack, there's a complication in trying to get my CD sales going for Europe through my Bandcamp. That may not be the only way we can get this done, though. There's 10 CDs over in England. We can probably figure some kind of way out of getting them on sale to folks over there. So I'll keep you posted on what's next. But the original plan to just post them on my Bandcamp with separate instructions won't work. Everything has to be in US dollars or whatever the chosen currency is. So I can't do two separate entries on Bandcamp for the Muse for Europe and US. I can't do it. So I'll let you know when I find out what happens next. If he sends them back to me or if he decides to try another avenue of setting up sales for me. We'll see. Okay, and did you watch the video for Days? Came out nice, didn't it? With the waterfall and the clouds and stuff. Watch it and enjoy that music. This has not come into perspective for me. If you see this, Dave and Jerry. So I'm not talking about it. It just hasn't hit me. I've tried to play it. It isn't hitting me yet. So we'll get to it. Okay. Take care, folks. Talk to you in a minute.